Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hi. Hello.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's a fine Wednesday evening.
It is a fine Wednesday evening. It's hump day. The week is almost over. Ugh, can't wait. How about you?
Well, I normally wouldn't be able to wait, but I have to go Christmas shopping, which is a big bummer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing that
I don't
tomorrow as well, like I mentioned.
I don't like shopping. I like giving gifts to people, but I don't like to shop for the gifts.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not a big shopper either. Yeah, we were talking about this last night, and
You
neither of
were.
us is like the gift of, or the love language of gift giving is not our strong suit.
Mm-mm. No.
But
No. I'm more of a
that's
doer.
okay.
I feel like
Hmm.
when I go Christmas shopping, I feel like the urge to buy like clutter or something is
Mm.
there, because you people don't like gift cards even though they're very practical, right? So,
Yes. Yeah, it's
but
considered like low effort or whatever the fuck.
right, but like candles and blankets and I mean, is it nice? Maybe, but like, do I know your taste? Is this gonna be like one in a huge pile of what you've already got?
Yeah, exactly.
Hard to know. I'm getting a bottle of liquor for one of the white elephant gifts. Can't use
Uh-huh.
my local colloquialism for that term. We call it a Yankee swap here in New England.
Hmm.
FYI to the audience, but apparently that's usually a New England thing, and everybody else calls it a white elephant.
That's so funny.
Hmm.
That's
Shout
so
in the
funny.
chat if you've ever heard Yankee swap before, because I don't know.
I never had until you said it.
No, but you do live in Western Canada, which is probably about as far from New England
Mm.
you might be able to get.
Yes. Complete
Yeah.
opposite.
Hmm. Hmm.
So this evening, um, Yankee swap sounds like fake news.
It's not, I promise. You should have heard the term. You're from Philly. Like, that's not technically New England, but it's
No,
close enough that you would like probably know.
that's funny.
I don't know, maybe not.
So yeah, tonight we wanted to talk about this article, this Project 25 thing that you found. Let me
Hmm.
just full screen this so that we can. Oops, and I guess I should take this. I'm a mess. Oh my god.
uh, yeah, tapeworm, and that's exactly the game. It's the one where you steal their gifts.
Yes.
Hmm.
So you found this article. Did you pre-read it?
I have not pre-read it in
Okay, me
depth,
neither.
but I did see a some kind of video TikTok reaction to it at some point.
Oh.
But I don't know if it was like Bourbon Bougie or some one of those channels, right, that does
Right,
these
right,
kind
right,
of
right.
things. But I saw it somewhere and I wanted to
Yeah.
discuss it in depth.
Yeah, me too.
Mm.
Ice Goddess says people say Project 25 is fake, but I don't know, it creeps me out. What do
I don't
you
know.
think
I've
about that?
heard I've heard that, but I feel like strides are already being made in laying the groundwork for this kind of like weird Christian theocracy takeover that's
Ugh.
infiltrating like a higher levels of government, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even just the fact that there's been things out in the media lately, um, where 15 or 20 years ago it wouldn't have even been thinkable to say that sort of thing
Right.
out loud, like about how, well, we'll get into it in this article, right? But how, women having choices is dooming the country because of birth rates or lonely men or
Oh
whatever.
boy.
And I think all that is connected to what we're going to read tonight here and Project 2025.
Yeah. Well, let's go then. So, how to turn around US birth rates according to Project 2025 group. Oh boy.
Yeah,
Maybe
let's see what
gonna
brilliant ideas they have. I'm
soon.
sure.
Okay. So, two academics have argued that the harmful overconsumption of schooling is responsible for the plummeting birth rate across the US.
Mhm.
First sentence
Oh,
alone is
it gets better. Yep.
JP Green and Lindsay M. Burke, both PhDs, are concerned that other Americans may be becoming unnecessarily educated. Unnecessarily educated?
Yep. Oh,
Oh my
it's
God.
I do remember some things about this article, and it gets really wild. It gets wild.
Oh boy. Okay.
Wait until we get to the part that I love the most, and by love I mean hate.
Okay, an overview of their argument was published on Monday on the website of the Heritage Foundation, oh boy, a think tank where Burke is the director for the Center of Education Policy and Green is a senior research fellow. The Heritage Foundation is the group behind Project 2025, the conservative manifesto for how the U.S. should be restructured under incoming President Donald Trump. Birth rates have plunged in the U.S., and the authors say the average American woman will have just 1.6 children in her lifetime, far below the rate of 2.1 required to maintain a steady population. Green and Burke believe education policy discourages Americans from starting families in favor of attending university and also suppresses religious beliefs that encourage high fertility rates.
Yep.
Oh, like
Yep.
it's so clear, like overconsumption of education, unnecessarily educated.
Mhm.
Those are scary words.
Yeah, and the whole suppressing religious beliefs. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, brainwash them, cult indoctrinate them,
Ugh.
discourage education, and we'll have them babies.
Eesh. What is the Do you think though the concern really is about like maintaining a steady population? Like what is
Yep.
the desperation or whatever for these conservatives to make women have babies? It's not about the population, right?
I I think well, I think yes and no. I think a lot of these conservative types are worried about the white population,
Right. Okay, okay, okay.
and a no because I think the ultimate goal is they want to return to an era where women did not have as many rights. They want to go back to the
Mhm.
imaginary 1950s, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I yes and no. Yes, they want to increase white birth rates. Yes, they want more religion, less education, and the implication being they want women to have less education.
Uh,
Because I don't see a conservative think tank really doing anything about men going to college. I mean, men
right, right,
also
right.
have the trades options. Women also have trades options, but they face like such an uphill battle that a lot of times it's not even worth going into the trades for a woman.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
Mhm.
Ugh, God.
Yeah.
So Green and Burke believe education. Oh, I agree with that.
I thought you
Well,
said green and prick.
Green and Burke.
I know, but it sounded like prick on my end, and I was like,
Oh,
"Hmm,
not
that would
far
be
off.
very yeah, be very apt." Anyway, sorry.
No, no. So, while highlighting the benefits of higher education, the authors said good things can become bad when pursued in excess. Oh my God, these words are so scary.
Mhm. They
The
want you
trend of,
dumb.
mm-hmm.
Not that being uneducated is dumb, because I didn't finish college myself, so I'm not knocking, not
No, no,
knocking
no.
not going to college, but that's their goal. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if they could go back to the 1800s where people could quit school in like 6th grade to go work on the farm, they'd probably love
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
The trend of fewer children being born now means an increasingly elderly population with a reduced working age demographic in the future. Experts have warned of a looming silver tsunami after U.S. Census Bureau figures suggested that by 2035, older adults will outnumber children, a first in
Right.
American history. Yeah, I've heard
And
that too.
that's the other concern too is the capitalists that are a part of this.
Yeah.
They're looking at
So
the future and they're looking at like the workforce and all that.
somebody mentioned that up in here somewhere. Anyway, yeah. Jeez.
Oh, yep.
What?
Expired milk mentioned a steady population isn't good enough. The economy needs a constantly growing population. And yes, enough of the babies have to be white. Yep.
Ooh. Some high-profile figures have raised awareness of the issue. Business mogul Elon Musk, who has been given an efficiency briefing in Trump's upcoming administration, is passionate about pronatalism and is known to have fathered 12 children. That's a weird phrasing, is known to have,
Isn't
insinuating there
he?
could.
I know there could be more, but isn't he famous for being kind of a deadbeat despite being a billionaire? Like,
Oh
don't
yeah,
several
he's not really involved in like any of his kids' lives, I think.
know?
And there's multiple different mothers and stuff.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the mothers are not like they're not rich or anything like that. So,
Hmm.
and I don't think he talks to some of his kids.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, or they don't talk to him. I should
Yeah.
put
So Musk has called for families to have more children and described declining birth rates as the biggest threat to civilization. Europe is similarly concerned, with its nations meeting in September to discuss a report that laid bare the strain due to be placed on welfare systems and public finances with a sharp fall of working-age citizens and an aged population. In the UK, deaths outnumbered births for the first time in 50 years, excluding the COVID-19 pandemic, officials revealed in October. China's population is also shrinking, while Japan's birth rate continues to nosedive. North Korea reportedly issues punishments to retailers who sell contraceptives in a bid to tackle its own declining population. And an Indian politician recently urged women to have a minimum of 2 children each for the greater good of the country. I mean, when you've got like 1.5 billion people,
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know if you need more.
right. Like I always say, like overpopulation used to be the talking point just a
Yeah,
few years ago, and suddenly 8 billion people is not enough people. I,
right.
I just don't see how that's, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
There are some countries bucking the trend, however, with a skyrocketing population surge forecast for Africa. I mean, that's not a country. There are some countries.
Right, it's a whole
Oh
continent.
boy. The population of sub-Saharan Africa is projected to double by 2050, according to the United Nations. Wow.
Yeah, but Heritage doesn't care about that because they're,
No, yeah,
you know,
exactly.
oh
Oh
no, run.
no, black people.
Oh, run. Oh my God.
At this point, Elon Musk will be our first ever first gentleman,
The AO3/fic we never knew we needed.
right? God. Some argue that a shrinking population is beneficial, being a marker of women's reproductive rights. Environmental activists suggest it will lead to a greener world with fewer people burning through finite natural resources and polluting the planet.
Yeah.
The full article by Green and Burke was originally published last week by online magazine The Federalist and attempts to offer a solution to the problem. It was titled, "Here's How to Actually Reverse the Baby Bust." Green and Burke noted there are many cultural and technological factors at play that have resulted in hospitals' emptier birth wards in the US. But arguments that it is the high cost of rearing children that puts off prospective parents appear to be unfounded, they wrote.
Oh, unfounded. Oh, how nice of them to say that.
Hmm.
Did you hear that Elon Musk's mother, maybe we can talk about this after this, but
Hmm.
did you hear she came on in an interview and just told people to like, well, have kids. It'll just work out. You don't have to go to the movies or go out to dinner. You could just sacrifice and have children. Children are the best thing in the world.
Oh, yeah, it's like,
Her
uh,
son's a fucking billionaire, and I'm pretty sure that Musk's father wasn't he a diamond miner?
oh
Like,
boy,
it's easy for them to say they're
right.
rich.
Extremely wealthy.
Yeah, I just
Hung-
gotta say, women who say that suck, and it's even more so because they're rich. Like she's a rich woman.
Yeah, like it's easy to say that shit when you have all of the money in the world for like nannies and in-home
Yeah,
help and like somebody to like cook for you. Like that is not
right.
reality for the rest of the world.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Rosie. It's emerald mines, but still, yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So Green and Burke noted that there are many cultural and technological factors at play that have resulted. I read this already. God, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Hungary and South Korea have both offered very generous government subsidies for families having children, but these large expenditures clearly haven't helped. Americans had more children in the past when people had significantly less money than they do now, they added. The best way to
Yeah, but the prices weren't as high. Ugh, this is so
right,
stupid.
like there's lots of factors here, people.
Right. Wages also haven't gone up. So the dollar
Right.
back then went a lot farther. Like you could buy a
Mm,
decent house. You could buy a decent, 2 to 3 bedroom house for under 200,000. Now you pay $500,000 for that. So what?
oh yeah. My parents, when they bought their house, it was 170
Yeah.
and and they're actually listing their house this week and it's going to be listed for over 350. Like
Yeah.
it's disgusting. Oh my god.
Exactly.
The best
Experiment. Sorry. She's funny.
always
Back when
so funny.
comic books were 2 cents. Yeah, right. Like they're
Right.
still living in the past. I'd like to see how old these guys are, but anyway.
I know. The best way to promote fertility isn't funding parenthood, it's stopping the government programs that discourage people from having babies, the authors wrote.
Mm.
Education was the prime example of this, they suggested, arguing that current education policies push people to delay having families until they are much older and impose barriers to accessing religious education, both of which significantly reduce fertility rates. Oh boy.
So that's really misleading because it's not I don't like how they call it fertility rates. These are people's choices to,
Right.
to delay or not have children. Like fertility
Mm-hmm.
just means your ability to have children, right? So like it's not affecting their ability, it's affecting their desire or what time in their life they have children if they choose.
Yeah.
And
What?
see how they snuck in religious education in there.
Yeah.
They want all schools. There are no barriers. I don't know about where you live and Expire Milk, but like where I live, there are plenty of choices. Like if you want to send your kids to public school, that's all good. But there's
Yeah.
lots and lots of religious private schools, and you can get,
Yeah.
if you're like poor, you can get help to attend there. Like the churches will, help your tuition rate and all that stuff.
Yeah,
So
there's but like super Christian people always love to like play the victim and argue that like they're being
yeah,
persecuted for their faith. And it's like there is
see,
no barriers to Christianity in America. I'm sorry, there is
no,
not.
it's really dumb. It's really dumb. If anything, I've received a lot more blowback in my life from not believing in God,
Mm-hmm.
not being religious. Most
Yeah.
people are like, "What? How are you not religious? Like how do you not believe in God? Like so what does that mean? Does that mean you believe in the devil? Does that mean that you do bad things? How do you do good things if you don't have God?" I'm like, "What?"
That's like such a scary statement. It's like, ooh,
I know.
so like without your belief in God, you wouldn't be like a nice, good person? Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
If you're
I
only doing it to get into heaven, like that's says more about you
yeah.
than us.
It really does. Like I do good things because I'm a good person, I guess. I don't know why you do good things. Maybe you
Yeah.
don't. Hmm.
Young people are pushed towards university due to enormous incentives and highly subsidized student loans. This has created an artificially extended adolescence for the bulk of American young people. But
Okay,
people, like,
where
you graduate college at 22. Like, what are
yeah,
you talking about?
I don't
You're
think this
still
is what
a child at
no.
22.
Yes, yeah, I mean, I think so, but I'm 45, right? If you had asked me that at 22, I would have been offended.
I know, of
But
course.
but also there's a lot of factors causing what I also notice is kind of a delayed adolescence in like the
Mm,
Gen Z population, right? a lot of younger people are not flying the nest. But there's a lot of reasons for that. And the big one is cost of living. And where are all these highly subsidized student loans?
Right?
These kids have debt up the ass. Like, and
Yeah.
they can't find
College in the
jobs.
States is like some of the most expensive in the world.
Right, and getting a little scholarship grant for like women in tech for 3 grand is not going to sustain you through your
No,
entire 4 years. You know what I mean? Like these
not even
scholarships are very,
close.
yes, they help and it's nice that they're there. But I mean, I remember applying for scholarships. It's like $500 here, a
Yeah.
couple thousand. Like you're not getting a free ride unless you're like extraordinary. Most people don't get free rides. So
Yeah.
where are these subsidized educations?
Oy.
Yeah, that's why everybody wanted to do the student loan forgiveness thing back in COVID because people were crushed under the and you can't
Yes.
that won't go away. It won't discharge if you declare bankruptcy either. You're stuck with it
Yep.
forever.
This is great from Expired Milk. Notice how the college is bad discourse just so happened to pick up steam once women gained a clear lead in college education. Yeah, because
Yes.
statistically now more women than men obtain bachelor's degrees.
Yes, but there's no statistical, I mean, systemic, I should say, anything that's preventing a man from applying to and going to college. They
Right.
just aren't. And another reason for that is women don't have really a lucrative trades option. Like
Hmm.
if you don't go to college, you're pretty much sidelined into like pink collar, low paying admin work or the service industry. Unless you are lucky and you start your own business, you got the funding for that or whatever. But and there's some women in trades. I'm not like trying to minimize the women in trades, but man, that is a hard row to hoe
Yeah.
being in that kind of male dominated. So women don't have their own thing. It's not like you tell a woman like, "Oh, well, if you don't go to college, you can just do this other really lucrative career path that doesn't
Right.
require college."
Right.
Whereas a
Right.
men can like, "Oh, be an electrician, be a plumber," and they don't have any barriers to that.
Yep.
It's just like whether they want to get the training and the certifications for that. That's it.
Yep. Yep. So the more educated the woman, the older she is when she begins to have children, the authors said.
Mhm.
Some 21.8% of women with a bachelor's or higher degree will never have any children at all, Greenberg wrote.
Yeah, and notice how quickly they went to women. Like I said, they're
Yeah.
not concerned about men going to college. They're concerned about women.
Yeah. We don't want women to be educated. So
Mm-mm.
education policy also suppresses fertility. No, it doesn't. By discouraging parents from choosing religious education in K to 12 schools, they said, noting, adults who are more strongly attached to religion tend to have many more children.
Ask them what their quality of life is.
Right?
Yeah, they have more children because that's what their God
Mm-hmm.
believes they should do. But ask the egg apron lady how happy she is
Right,
without
exactly.
without her husband looming over her.
The pair praised higher education, saying it can have significant economic and social benefits, concluding, good things can become bad when pursued in excess. Oh my God. Believing that
Please.
government subsidies for higher education have induced harmful overconsumption of schooling is no more against higher education than fighting obesity is against caloric intake. The authors
Wait,
concluded, go ahead.
I just have to read that sentence again.
So,
My brain
believing
short
that
circuited.
government subsidies for higher education have induced harmful overconsumption of schooling is no more against higher education than fighting obesity is against caloric intake.
That's really stupid. That has
Yeah.
nothing to do. That has nothing to do with. That's not a good analogy.
Hmm.
It's not a good analogy.
So they're saying, like,
Yeah.
just because we believe this doesn't mean we're against higher education. That's like saying fighting
No.
obesity is against calorie intake. Okay. All
Also,
right.
there's no such thing as being too educated. Like I
Well,
don't, you know, well, I mean, sometimes you can get a little
no,
in
I
your
mean,
ivory.
they think it's possible.
They do, and there's some weird ivory tower people that exist, but it's not harmful. We're
Right.
not like oh, like they're pitting a thing like obesity, which actually causes health problems and can be harmful, against going to college and being educated. Okay, nobody had a heart attack or anything from going getting their master's degree or whatever. It's a really bad analogy. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Oh, you asked why they make fake job postings.
Yeah, ghost postings. Why?
Yeah, they do that. So I heard from some recruiter channels I follow. Like, these people's jobs is to like get people into jobs, right?
Right.
Well, companies will do it for a variety of reasons. They want to project the image that their company's in a growth state, so
Right.
they put the jobs up there. Yep, that's right, Rosie. And I've also, yep, yep. I was just going to say, it's like almost an intimidation tactic, like telling current
No.
employees their positions are always being scouted for replacements. Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, Ice Goddess. The heart attacks are coming from the loans they have to pay. For real. Yeah.
So the authors concluded the first two policies we could discontinue are those that push people to remain in school longer than they otherwise would, and those that burden religious beliefs that make having babies more likely. Newsweek reached out to the Heritage Foundation and the Harvard Center for Population Development Studies seeking comment, but there was none.
Yeah. Ooh, the comments. I wonder what they're thinking, what they're saying.
We should design our system so that college students can have kids if they want. It's a biologically ordinary thing to do at that age, and we should accommodate it. We should also be providing our citizens with a good public education, including college, like most civilized countries do. One downvote.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much of a fan I am of having kids at like 18 to 21,
I
but
know.
yeah, it okay, you can wait a little bit longer, all right? You don't have to have them at 18 because
Yeah.
that's freshman year of college. So let's you know, it's not the same as waiting until 40. If you want to wait until you're like 27, that's perfectly fine,
Right.
or something, you know,
Right.
28. You don't have to
Like,
start pumping them out.
yeah, my God.
I know that a lot of it, you know, a lot of us here are antinatalist and stuff, but like, if you want to have kids, there's no rush.
Right.
Really.
No, I agree completely. Your frontal lobe should be fully formed at least.
You should have some experience in the real world too. Like,
Yes.
if you're going from high school in your mom and dad's house or whatever to
Yeah.
college, that's also just like kind of an upgraded high school mentality, you know. My kid is in college. Those kids are not mature, okay?
No.
They're just like high school kids, but like one upgrade. They got a few more responsibilities and freedoms, but it's basically just like, oh, all my friends are my peers at school. Like, they haven't had a real full-time job, most of them, yet. They haven't been out there yet.
Yeah, or had to like, yeah, know what it is to really be on your own and take care of yourself.
Right. Like, not be in a dorm or with a bunch of other people, and
Yeah.
not have a scheduled existence, like having to manage yourself.
Yeah.
That all that is huge. And then you want to have babies on top of that? No.
Wait.
No. What's the rush? You don't need to have kids at 18, 19, 20. Oh
No.
God, Triceratops. That's
Yeah, no kidding. I just read that.
wow.
This one says two academics, yeah, they're academics, have argued that the
Oh,
harmful overconsumption of
yes.
school.
These guys are PhDs. I missed
Right.
that.
Yeah, and they're arguing against education. So this does not bode well for the US. If these regressives have their way, we will become the largest third world country. What other countries also deny females in education? How has that worked out?
Right. I'm glad that this DP person clocked that they're really talking about women here.
Yeah,
They don't come
exactly.
out and say it. It's very veiled, but it's clear that that's who they're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, completely, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Two primary
Oh
reasons
yeah.
people are not having children is the cost of a home and groceries. Push this nonsense on the wealthy because they're the only ones that can afford to have children. right?
Exactly. Like I'm not antinatalist, right? I had a kid,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
ship
yeah.
has sailed, but I'm like supportive of it. But most normies want to have a family. Like most people want to,
Yep.
but they can't. Like they can't. You know, how are you going to have a multiple kids and a family if you're house poor and you can't afford a car and you can't afford groceries and your job barely covers any living expenses, you got nothing left? How do you do it?
Yep.
And if you don't get the college degree, how can you hope to even make enough money? And that's the other thing about college degrees, right? Like there's an argument to be made. Like there's a conversation to have about how every job now, even if it's low-level admin work, seems to
Hmm.
require at least a bachelor's, right?
Yep.
And like I was saying before, there's no lucrative non-college paths other than the trades, really.
Yeah.
But there's really nothing for women. Even nursing, which is called like the female trades, right? But you still need college for that. And if you want
Yeah.
to be like a higher level nurse, you need more schooling for that. So it's like,
Hmm.
what's the path here? So these jobs are requiring four years minimum. Sometimes they require a master's for something that I could probably do, right? I don't have a
Hmm.
master's degree. So when you've got all these kids looking at these jobs, or their parents are looking and they're like, okay, my kid has to get a college degree because otherwise, being just a high school graduate, they're not going to get anything. They're going to be working in like Starbucks or something, and that's it. And that's how it is in this country. Like if you don't get it, you're not going to make a lot of money at all.
Yeah.
Nope.
Ugh.
So
I
why are
like
they
this.
Oh,
What?
sorry.
No, no.
Yeah, Lebensborn 2.0. Oh my god.
Oy.
Yeah.
Determination. Spay Almecas.
Spam.
Um,
Yeah.
do you want to look at the ACLU posted like some brief overviews of Project 2025? Do you want to look at that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Enlightened female. So many job descriptions that I could do with training, but they require so
Yeah.
much schooling. It's a way of control, right? It's dumb. Why? Maybe a lot of these kids wouldn't even want to go to college. They would like another path, but there really isn't one in America. Not if you want to make a living wage.
No. So, what are some plans and proposals included in Project 2025? So, gutting abortion access, severely limiting abortion access nationwide by reversing the FDA's approval of mifepristone, mifepristone,
Mifepristone? Yeah.
mifepristone, a drug used in medication abortion, and reviving a 19th century law, the Comstock Act, to ban any abortion medications, equipment, or materials from being sent through the U.S. Postal Service. Mass
Yeah.
deportations, targeting immigrant communities through mass deportations and raids, ending birthright citizenship, which is crazy to me.
Crazy.
How
Yeah.
it so how does somebody like if they're born in the US, how do
Yeah.
they become a citizen? Like they have to apply for citizenship of the place they're born?
I I don't know. I
Like
don't
if
know how
you have a baby and like
I mean,
what?
some of these kids are pretty much grown up now, right? So if you're like in your 20s and your parents were immigrants and had you,
Yeah.
back in the 90s, does that mean they can deport you to a country you've never been to, even though you were raised in
Yes.
America?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but even ending birthright citizenship, like even if say your family has been here for generations,
Yeah,
like if couple has a baby, like their baby is not a citizen, even though the parents and the grandparents and the great grandparents and the great great grandparents were. Like that
I
seems
think
crazy
that
to me that you have to apply for citizenship.
I think it's only if the parents aren't citizens, because what used to happen is immigrants would come here
Yeah.
and if you had a baby on American soil, you weren't a citizen, but your baby
Yeah.
was the
What
citizen.
are they? There's like a derogatory term for that. What isn't there? Anchor baby? Is
I
that what
don't
they call
know.
it?
I don't know that
Anyway.
term. Maybe, yeah. I mean, it sounds legit, I guess. we kind of talked about this last stream too, and like Ice Gotta
Mm-hmm.
said, they're not deporting the Italians. Like, yeah, like Trump's wife herself is from
Slovenia.
Slovenia. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
this doesn't apply to white people.
they're
Like,
not looking to deport the
oh,
Germans and the people from the UK and all that stuff. They're
mm-hmm.
not doing that. They're looking for brown people and black people or
Yeah,
Asian people too.
yeah.
So
Um, the thing though about like deportations and stuff, it's like so much of the economy moves because of immigrants. Like,
yeah.
what, like, mass deportations would probably cause some kind of economic collapse,
Well,
no?
people were talking about this recently because Trump did say he was going to move on this pretty soon, which caused a lot of the Hispanic voters for Trump
Yeah, to
to
be like, oop.
regret and be like, "Oh no, the leopards ate my face," right? So,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, you're gonna deport my abuela even though I voted for you?" Like, yeah, that was what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, there was a lot of talk about how a lot of our like the farm workers are immigrants, and a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
who do the jobs that Americans don't want to
Truckers,
do. Yeah,
construction.
right, right.
There's
Drivers.
yeah, there's a great documentary on Netflix called Living Undocumented that's
Mm,
about undocumented immigrants in the United States. And I mean, it is heart-wrenching. I sobbed because throughout the series there are deportations that occur.
yeah,
But it's really like eye-opening. I highly recommend it.
yeah. I should watch that.
It's called
But
Living
yeah,
Undocumented. Okay, so
yeah. I've
mass
always
deportations.
wondered how they would do. How do you live undocumented here? Everything requires documentation.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it. I guess I have to watch the documentary to find out.
Hmm.
But yeah, so these Republicans want to basically ship out all the immigrant workers, and they want, oh, all jobs have to be American, filled by Americans. Yeah, but the whole reason
But
immigrants are there is because the capitalists don't want to hire Americans because they'd have to pay us at least minimum wage, right?
yeah,
And Americans don't want to do those jobs anyway. So
right.
do you want to go pick things in a field? I mean,
Hmm.
not. I don't even think it's right that we have immigrants do that. Personally, it's like
Yeah.
glorified indentured servitude.
Yeah, 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 definitely.
But they're really shooting them like they're gonna cripple the economy like this because they don't have anything to back it up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Next on the
bless you.
agenda, abusing warrantless surveillance. So, exploiting the executive branch's vast and unprecedented powers to spy on Americans' lives with warrantless surveillance of our data. That's scary.
I mean, they already do this though. In
Yeah.
the internet age, you're always being watched. Your
Hmm.
smartphone listens to you, like your
Yes.
computer watches you. Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
Unleashing undue force on protesters. So, violating the First Amendment by using federal enforcement to target journalists and protesters.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah. It's in the Constitution. We have a right to peaceful protest
Hmm. And free
and
speech.
free speech, right? And Trump has already said that he wants to basically like use freaking strike breakers to beat up protesters, even if they're peaceful. Yeah, Bugs, they do.
Yeah.
No, it's more like a theocratic dictatorship. Like they want the
Hmm.
Christian religion ensconced in power, and then they want to rule us like kings. Mhm.
Severely limiting voting access, so abusing executive power to interfere in elections by criminalizing the voting process and damaging fair representation.
How are they? I'm curious. I wish they expounded on that because how do you criminalize it?
Um, wonder if there's anything in here. No. Yeah,
Yeah.
and criminalizing the voting process. Let's just see if I don't know. Well, I guess I mean, things like I've heard in some states, like it's illegal to give people water if they're in line for voting, or um,
What?
yes, there are some states where if people are
Hmm.
waiting in line to vote, it is illegal to give them any food or water.
Why?
Um,
Just
and
to make
it's
it
primarily
unbearable?
right, so that maybe they'll leave because they're thirsty and hungry and they won't vote.
Yeah.
That's a
Wow.
thing.
Wow.
So censoring critical discussions in classrooms, censoring academic discussions about race, gender, and systemic oppression in violation of the First Amendment, and promising to cut federal funding for schools with curricula that touch on these subjects. Yeah, that's a thing that's definitely happening.
Yeah, they want to get rid of DEI.
Yeah, people are all so mad about DEI and critical race theory.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but a lot of those, well, at least I think I haven't been in school. I'm old, so um but aren't those more higher level, like high school and above classes anyway? Wouldn't they be more university level or upper high school? I feel like if you're taking a critical race theory, you're not going to be in like fifth grade.
Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know. Rolling back trans rights. I hate that
Yeah.
framework. Weaponizing federal law to require states and private actors to discriminate against transgender people by threatening to sue schools that protect the rights of trans students or telling hospitals that they would lose their Medicaid funding if they provide gender affirming medical care to trans adolescents. Okay, but like
Yeah.
children who are under the age of 18 shouldn't be receiving quote unquote gender affirming medical care. Like
Yeah.
if a teenager wants to like go by a different name or pronouns at school or whatever the fuck, who cares really? But
Right.
when it comes to medical care, that should
Yeah.
not be happening to minors.
Yeah. It's just
So
medicalizing them and putting them under the knife or under damaging hormones when they're
yeah.
still growing. I mean, it would be as ridiculous as punishing tattoo parlors for not tattooing kids that
Right.
strolling off the street, you know?
Right.
Like, how dare you
Exactly.
tattoo discriminate?
Uh, and also like threatening to sue schools that protect the rights of trans students. But like what rights? Because all of the students are going to have the same human rights. What they really mean this keep in mind this is from the ACLU, which is
I know.
extremely fucking liberal.
It's
But
captured.
yeah, extremely captured. But like when they say protecting the rights of trans students, what they really mean is like not rights, they mean the privileges of trans students to do whatever they
Right.
want and get whatever they
Yeah.
want.
Yeah. For boys to go into the girls'
Yeah.
bathroom and sexually assault the girls and not be punished at all. Just moved schools like a priest. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Special treatment or the right to do something potentially permanently damaging to themselves
Yeah.
and not have their parents informed,
I
you
know.
know, like
Crazy.
ordering bathtub hormones off the internet and they tell their teacher they're trans and they're taking internet hormones and the teacher's not allowed to tell their parents because they're protecting trans kids or something.
Yeah.
Like what? If your son was taking anabolic steroids when he's on the wrestling team, would you not inform his parents that he's doing that?
Right. Right. It's the same.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, okay. Then there's Trump stuff. Anyway, so that's just a few
Mm.
things on the docket for Project 2025.
I yeah, yep. But there's stuff on there that's more insidious, like the education thing we read.
Mm-hmm.
Insidious because it purports to target education in general, but what it really wants to do is make women uneducated and religious and wanting like a football team of kids.
Yeah.
That's what these people want.
Oy, 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 oy.
I know. I hate that the trans stuff is rolled into this because it's a direct opposition to women's rights. So,
Yes.
mhm.
Everything is like can't exist in this world about anything when without it being looped back to trans. Like,
I
ugh,
know.
I'm so sick of it all. I'm so sick of it all.
Me too. It's just exhausting.
Yeah,
It's exhausting to have to explain reality to people, you know?
I know. I'm really just so tired of like I'm just really, really, really so tired about trans everything all the fucking time. Like,
Yep. Yeah, me too. That's why I get burnt out talking about
I
it or
know.
like reading about it because it's like, ugh, it's so nonsensical to me that it's like arguing with a child when they insist that the grass is red or something.
I know.
Okay. Like you can't even argue with it because it has no logic. It's just based on religious feelings inside your heart, basically. It's feelings. It's like, oh, I feel the soul inside me is supposed to be a man. Therefore, I am a man, even though I'm female. Like, there's nothing provable about it. It's just your say so. It's the same as saying, like, I feel God in my heart. Therefore, I know God exists. End of
Right.
story. End of discussion. Right. It's the same
It
thing.
is the
Well,
same.
prove God exists. Like you can't prove he exists, just like you can't prove anyone's trans. It's just basically what they say and feel and think themselves.
Yeah. Oh, it's exhausting. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry.
this
I'm just reading Rosie's comment. Everything trans, trans. The woke is trans.
whoops. Yes, the gayest trans. It's like ah
Or like the most homophobic. Trans. Hmm.
yeah. All of it. All of it. All of it.
You
And
haven't had the right dick yet, repackaged for the
mhm.
modern era.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Like
Yeah, baby, you
same.
haven't tried mine yet.
It's the exact same. Exact
Yeah.
same.
Yep.
Ugh.
Hmm.
I am very tired of it all, and like it's just everywhere. Um,
Yep. Yep. And it's dismaying because this kind of nonsense really steers people away from good, like liberal values, you
I
know?
know. Well, that's yeah, and we see it constantly. There's so many like why I left the left
Uh huh.
content out there,
Right.
and it's because of like the extremely woke left, the alt
Well,
left.
to play devil's advocate, ha ha. I hate when guys play
I
devil's
know.
advocate, FYI. But if you were part of like a political side and they came out with such nonsense and it started to infect everywhere, it's conceivable that a normie person would be like, well, this is utter nonsense. So what else on this side has is nonsense and I've been lied to, you know? It just makes them people don't critically think, right? They can't separate, especially in America. Everything's like a goddamn football team, right? You got to take
Mhm.
everything. If you're on a side, you have to believe everything that side believes or you're not that thing. It's black or white, right? So it's not inconceivable to me that somebody would be like, well, this trans thing is total horseshit and everybody seems to believe it. So, what else are they deluded about? Like, is everything that I've been told that our values a lie or nonsense? And then they start being like, I'm anti woke. I left
Mhm.
the left.
Deep sighs.
Yeah, I know. Tapeworm and devil's advocate. Lets you know a man's about to say some of the most annoying things you'll ever hear. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, especially when they try to argue with you about your experience of being female. Like, dude, how would you even know? You don't even know. What?
Yeah. Not to mention any sign of not screaming, trans women are women, makes you an evil transphobe committing genocide.
Yeah, so if you're on the left and you're trying to actually do in real life political activism, you're probably going to come up against being challenged about your beliefs. Like if you're part of
Right.
an organization,
Yeah, it's like the only thing that seems to matter at all in leftist politics is trans stuff. Like they've
right?
completely abandoned any kind of socialist or Marxist stuff. Um,
Yeah.
any
Oh
like
my
they
God,
don't
yeah.
they've abandoned activism against racism, against ableism, like
Yeah,
they've
now racism is all about black trans women.
right.
It's like, what about black women? Just black women.
Right. Black women
You know,
who like have
the highest mortality rates in childbirth in this
mhm.
country and get killed at a greater rate than any other race in this country.
Yeah,
Okay.
that have like not achieved like equality with other women
Mhm.
um
Yeah.
because of racism. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
none of that matters anymore. It's just only about white men who get off on dressing in women's clothes. Like that's all that matters. It's very
Yep.
frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah,
Black femicide
exactly.
is the in the US is like one black woman every 4.5 hours. That's fucking horrifying.
Yeah, and if you listen to a lot of black women like on social media, not only do they have to deal with all that shit, but they got to deal with misogynoir from within their own community.
Yeah, just as Radybugs just said here.
Oh yeah. Mhm. Yep. Yeah.
Trans is very of this era.
Oh,
Hyper individualistic and capitalist. We are too comfortable. This is what happens when moist are allowed out of the mines.
yes. We must have them
Ugh,
back.
black birthing
Black birthing
bodies.
bodies.
That's okay. Like that.
So
How can
morbid
people
sounding.
well, that and extremely fucking racist. How can you be a Democrat, a leftist, or whatever, and use the language black birthing bodies? That is the language of chattel slavery.
Slavers. Yeah. Yep. I
Like,
could picture some guy in the 1800s with some woman on a box or whatever and being like, "Look at this black birthing body. Who's the highest bidder?"
right,
It's
right. Like,
disgusting.
breeds good stock. Like, how can
Right.
you possibly consider yourself any sort of a leftist, Democrat, whatever the fuck, and use that language? And they think that that language is progressive. It's
Yeah, they do.
extremely gross, extremely racist, extremely
Right.
misogynistic, misogynoiristic.
Or when they say, "Why can't if black women are women, why can't men be women?" What?
Oh,
So
how like
racist.
I know, and they don't see it that way, which is just
Right.
shocking.
These people
Shocking.
see black women like men, like they're
Right.
equal to men. Like what?
Oh,
How? Why?
it makes my blood boil when I see that shit. Like,
Yeah,
um, black women are women. Like men are not
right.
women. Men are
Men
not
are not
women.
women. They're not, and they never
Men
will be.
trans women are a subset of men, not a subset of
Yes,
women. They're not a kind
correct.
of woman.
No, they're a kind of
Oh,
man.
tapeworm, bless your little heart. Yes,
Yeah,
that's a
they
thing that
do.
is frequently brought up in these discussions is like, well, how can you say that black women are women if trans women aren't? It's like
Yeah,
I would love to ask, you know what? The next time I encounter this, I'm going to ask them to explain what they mean by that.
I think it. I've heard I've heard like liberal women say stuff like that. Like, well, if you're fine with black women using the restroom, why wouldn't you be fine with a trans woman? So they're basically catering to the stereotype of, first of all, black people as being violent, aggressive, dangerous for some reason. Black women are,
Sorry.
he
Go
doesn't
on.
like this. He doesn't like it. That black women are like masculine, manly, and somehow primitive or whatever, just like a man would be, right? Brutish, and it, it's all those old stereotypes and prejudices, and they've somehow made it woke. That's what the liberal woman who tells me that is telling me what she thinks about black women. That she thinks they're aggressive and dangerous and mannish. Are you there? I can't hear you anymore.
I am here. I was muted. Sorry. The dogs are.
Oh, no,
Yes.
that's
Sorry.
I didn't know if the dogs had unplugged you or whatever.
No, no, no. I'm here. They're just mad.
Oh, mad puppies.
But I was listening.
Oh yeah. Ladybugs.
They're not my dogs. I'm dog sitting, and they're very good dogs, but I don't know. They heard something outside and freaked out. Friday is potentially my last day here.
Oh, how's it
Depending,
been?
it's been fine. They're good dogs. They're really good dogs. They're very sweet. The clients, the pet parents get home Friday, depending on the roads. They might or might not drive home from the airport that day. So I might also stay Friday night, but we'll see.
Oh. Well, at least you know that if someone tries to come to your door and they're not wanted, they'll let you know.
They will. Although she's a big dog, but she's absolutely useless. Like she's just like she would not care. And the one who makes the most noise about things is just a little schnauzer. So
Well,
it's not
he's a
going to
good
do much.
alarm, or she.
Oh, yeah, that reminds me today. Oh my God. I know now we're getting off topic, but that's how the streams go. Today I went on a meet and greet for a potentially new dog client, and it was
Ooh.
the worst meet and greet I have ever had.
Oh no, you gotta tell.
Yeah. So oh God, this woman, there are some dog people who are like, ugh.
Yeah, I know.
She
Yeah.
only gets Brittany Spaniels. And so, when
Mm.
one dies, she gets another one and then gets another one and then gets another one. She's had like 7 Brittany Spaniels in a row. Oh boy.
Mm.
So she's that kind of dog person. And then this was the most horribly behaved dog I have ever encountered in my life.
Wow.
It like it has no recall or listening at all, and that's the woman's fault. It is not the dog's fault. Like they have to
Oh
be
no.
trained, obviously, but like jumping, scratching, repeatedly biting me, ripped a giant
Oh
hole in
no.
my vintage 1990s Adidas jacket.
No.
Yes. I'll yeah, a big fucking hole.
Oh my
um
God.
I was there for a half an hour, and the entire time this dog never stopped leaping up at me and like biting at my hands, tugging on my sleeves. And the whole time, the woman was just like, isn't he so crazy? You'll never meet a more hyper dog. He, he, he. Like, she
Ugh.
never ever was like correcting, or like she thought it was cute and funny that he's just so crazy.
He's biting
Um,
holes in your clothes.
yeah.
It's
Like,
not, these
she
are not
was,
little love nibbles. Like this is the dog has to bite quite hard to make a hole in a jacket. Jackets are
yeah.
thick. What?
Yeah. It was nuts. And she never ever like corrected his behavior. I just sent you a picture of the hole he ripped in my vintage 1990s Adidas jacket. It's a huge fucking rip. Um, yeah, it was awful. And he
Oh
never,
no. I
isn't
just
that crazy?
That's a big hole. What?
Yeah, he ripped it in my jacket with his teeth.
Damn.
It's a
Whoa.
Brittany Spaniel tapeworm. Um,
Brittany Spaniels are small, right?
they're mid-size
Oh,
and
okay.
they're hunting dogs, so like they need like a lot of stimulation. Whoops. They need a lot of yeah, they need a lot of stimulation. Um, and this dog is not getting it.
Mm.
It was crazy. I was there for a half an hour, and for the whole half an hour, the dog never even settled down a little bit, not even at all. It was
Wow.
crazy.
Oh
And
my
then, oh
God.
my God, oh my God. And so the woman, what she wants is she just wants somebody to be at her house on this Saturday from noon until 7 o'clock. That's it. Um, and like so she asked me what it would cost, and I told her the price. And it's more money than my overnight rate, which some people might think is kind of weird. Like, but my overnight rate is what it is because it comes with the understanding that like I can leave the house, I can go on other drop-ins or walks and
Oh
make
yeah.
other money,
Mhm.
right? But if
Right.
you're wanting me to be there for 7 hours and not leave at all, then you're going to pay me for that time. Um,
Yeah.
and what I told her, it was like it was significant. It still works out to less than minimum wage, and she was like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Lady, this was
Yeah.
insane."
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. And
Jeez. I'm
yeah,
guessing she didn't hire you because if you're super expensive, right?
well, I'm not, but according to her, she was kind of like,
No, I
oh,
was
yeah.
joking. Joking.
No,
Par-
she wants me to, and I'm like, ugh, this dog was bad,
Mm,
like really bad.
I'd be more worried with somebody like that she'd say 7 hours and then try to milk it.
I know.
Because she's not reliable with training her dog. So I'd be like, how reliable are you with your schedule? Are you going to be back in
Yeah.
time?
Well, she did say that um he goes to bed at 7 o'clock. So like he goes to his kennel and she turns on the white noise machine for him. Oh God.
Yeah, but will he
And
do
then
that if a stranger's putting him to bed? I doubt it.
right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Um,
Dogs don't like that
I know.
generally.
So
I don't,
yeah,
ugh,
it
man.
was
If you want to get an animal that doesn't listen to you, you don't really have to train and isn't too big. Just get a cat. Just get a
right.
cat.
So that
So
sucked.
you're totally doing it, aren't you?
Mm, yeah.
Just
Um,
wear durable clothing. Nothing
I
too
definitely
expensive.
will. Yeah, I definitely will.
Maybe bring
Um,
some pads, like those dog training pads, those biting
mm,
pads.
but yeah, I probably will do it. I mean, I've been doing this a long time, so I'm like, I've been around crazy animals, but
Yeah.
we'll see. I think, yeah, I mean, maybe in an hour or so, like he would settle down and like stop freaking out. So that's
Yeah.
fine. But if it comes to it, I might just be like, listen, we're not getting anywhere, so I'm leaving.
Yeah. Right.
But
Also, sometimes,
whatever.
like, if she's not around to like enable it and give it attention, he might
Hmm.
just like calm down.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe she
Maybe.
eggs it on, like with her
Oh,
reactions and stuff.
I think so. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And like she never tried to intervene at all. Like I'm like putting my hands out because he's like not he wasn't biting, not like biting, but nipping repeatedly,
Mm.
like nipped my hands, was tugging on my sleeves, and I'd like put my hands down to like keep him a little bit at bay as he's like chomping on my fingers, and she would just be like, "He's so crazy, I know." Like,
Mm.
oh my God, woman.
Just be careful though. I hate for him
Yeah,
to get aggressive on you.
yeah. Well, knock on wood, I've never been bit by a dog yet.
Yeah.
So anyway. that was my afternoon. Yesterday I went, well, on Monday I went to, what is going on over here? Sorry, hold on one second. Jeez.
Sure.
Sorry, she's like scratching it. Anyway, on Monday I had to go to another city for an appointment, and then I stayed the night at my aunt's house, and then it just so happened that like the team I work for is in various different cities, but we're all on the same kind of team doing the same kind of work. Anyway, so all of the people that are in Calgary, we're having an in-person Christmas staff party on Tuesday.
Ooh.
And I had my appointment booked long before this, but then I was like, oh, well, I'm there anyway. I might as well pop into the staff party. So I did that. And it was nice that they want to do all these stupid, like, fucking icebreaker shit. And I just don't have the.
Oh, not the icebreakers. Corporate
I know.
icebreakers
It's like,
are the worst.
I know it was the worst. It's like, introduce yourself and what team you work for, and then tell us your least favorite holiday food and your favorite holiday activity. And I'm just like, ugh. We're all adults well into our, adulthood. Like,
yes.
Stop. And then the worst, I don't know. I'm sorry for anyone who likes this shit, but like games is not for me. It's like, we had to do freaking holiday games, and I'm like, oh, can't we just like snack and hang out? Ugh.
I know. I only like in-person games under very specific circumstances.
Oh, I am not the one.
Like I'll play hearts with my family.
Okay.
It's like a thing, but I'm not really a card game person generally. Like I'm with you. I'll be with you in the corner. Like I just want a glass of wine and some hors d'oeuvres or whatever, and just sit and chat. That's
one of them was like, we're going to break into teams, and you have to design a team snow globe, and then everyone's going to vote on which one should win.
Oh,
just like,
that's really bad. Like that's kindergarten art project.
Exactly.
Although I did look up a website that has icebreaker questions.
What are some of them?
What food do you love that a lot of people might find a little odd?
Well, yesterday at the party, one of the questions was, what is your least favorite holiday food? And so many people said Brussels sprouts, which pissed me off because I love Brussels sprouts.
What?
So,
since when are they a holiday food? Huh.
Oh, they definitely are in Canada. Brussels sprouts are a Christmas and Thanksgiving staple for sure.
Oh. Cultural differences.
Yeah.
They're not here.
Oh, yeah, extremely here.
I guess ours would be the green bean casserole.
Oh, yeah, I've never even seen that in person. I have no idea what that is. That's an American thing for sure.
Yeah. Oh, Waldorf salad. Ugh. Ice cubes. Oh, yeah, some people love chewing ice cubes. Yep, I've known people that just like to crunch on some ice cubes.
My voicemail. What the heck? Sorry. You could hear that.
Oh, someone's leaving. I can't hear it from here.
Okay.
Pickles, pig's feet. Do you like them, life sucks, or do you like? Is it a food that you like that is a little odd, or do you not like them? The vomit face would have me thinking you don't. Yeah, Tay Horman. I love Brussels sprouts. If they were like a holiday staple, that'd be pretty awesome.
I just tried to comment in the chat, and my comment on my own channel was just held for review.
Oh, shit.
If there's a mod in the chat, will you approve my comment?
Yeah. Where Ice got us at. Yeah, I can't when I'm using StreamYard, I can't do my mod powers.
That's so funny. I was just replying to Irradiated Woman who talked about roasted Brussels sprouts, and all I said was, yes, irradiated, roasted, And then it says, YouTube rejected your comment. That usually is because they think it's spam. Try changing it a bit. It's my own comment on my own channel. What the heck?
Wow. Oh, she can't even see the comment.
That's so funny.
Wow. I can't.
Off my own
No.
island.
Jeez.
Well, that's too funny. Oh well.
It's okay. You verbally delivered the comment, I guess.
What other icebreakers you got for us?
Ooh, okay, let's see. Oh, what incredibly common thing have you never done?
I don't
I
know.
know that's hard. Hmm.
Um,
I can
incredibly
think of
common thing.
one.
Oh, I know one I've never done. Go for it.
I've never been ice skating.
Whoa.
Nope, never.
I have never driven a car.
Really?
Yeah, never.
It's so fun though.
I should learn, I suppose, but yeah, I never have.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, expired milks never had Brussels sprouts. There you go.
They're
Tie
so
in
yummy.
with the last question.
Yum. I love Brussels sprouts.
Life sucks. I know. That's why people do the stupid censoring stuff. And then other people complain about it. But it's like, well, if I don't want all my shit to disappear, I have to do it.
Right.
So I don't like it more than you like it. But
Right. Have to type like this.
these.
Life sucks says never dated anyone. Ice Goddess says
Mhm.
same here. Expired milk,
Yeah.
same. I've been single for a long time, like 10 years.
Yeah.
But
Have you
prior
been
to
on
that,
dates though? Like in
yeah,
between? Yeah.
yeah, casually, but nothing. Actually, where's
Ooh.
Lily for the lore?
Oh, she's got to be here. We got to tell
Um,
her. I
the
love
most,
bad date stories. I'm sorry. Is this a bad date
uh,
story?
well, yeah, I do have one, but I think I've told it before about, uh, I told the person I was seeing that I was reading Andrea Dworkin.
I don't remember this one. Maybe
Okay,
I
so
wasn't there for this one.
maybe, this gal and I met on Her. This was years ago. And we went out for coffee and it was going fine. We were chatting and she asked me what I was reading lately. And I said that I was currently reading Intercourse by Andrea Dworkin. And I
Oh
could
no.
see her face fall in real time. And like moments later, she pretended to get a phone call and said that her boss called her into work and she left.
Oh my God.
I
Well,
know.
sometimes the trash takes itself out, honey.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I
But
mean, if
what I
you
was
can't even appreciate some Dorkin, come on.
I know. But no, what I was
Anyway.
going to say is yesterday, my mother texted me. She was at work.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And she said, so we were talking at work about our families. And one of her coworkers, who I know pretty well, told another coworker that, yeah, my mom's daughter is gay. I was a little taken aback by that. But a girl I work with looked at your picture and said, please give me her number. She's cute.
Ooh.
I haven't said anything. Should I do it? So, thanks, Mom.
Your mom's trying to set you up.
Yes, she said yeah, her coworker told another coworker that my mom's daughter is gay, meaning me. And
Yes.
then she said, should I give her your number? It's like, give her my Instagram. Like, I don't. And then the woman did indeed follow me on Instagram.
Is she like, is she, pretty? Is she interesting?
Yeah, she's very cute from what I could see in her pictures, but I fear that she's young and queer, you know?
Ah, yes. Mm-hmm. With a
So,
K.
but yeah, yeah, exactly. It was just so funny when my mom texted me this, being like, "Oh, my coworker." It's like, okay, Mom.
That's
Yeah,
kind of
one
cute
thing I
though.
will say is my parents, like, I came out 21 years ago when I was 15. I didn't want to come out. I was scared to come out because my parents were Catholic and
Mm.
they were like, they talked about how homosexuality is sinful, blah, blah, blah. I never wanted to come out, didn't ever plan on it. Um, I was super depressed because of all of this. And my parents had me in therapy and they took me to a doctor and things weren't getting better. And so they kind of told me, like, listen, you either have to tell us exactly what is going on with you, or maybe we might have to pursue the youth psychiatric ward route because we don't know what to do
Oh.
anymore. Yeah. And I didn't want
Were you
that.
super angsty? You must have been super angsty at that
Oh,
age.
yeah. Like, yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was. I mean, yeah, I was
Oh.
a really depressed teenager. My parents, um, I guess I was kind of, I don't know if I was genuinely seriously suicidal, but you know,
Mm. Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and my
I,
parents, they changed their work schedules so that I would never be home alone, kind of thing, which is so,
oh.
it sounds so fucked up and sad to say that now, but things are fine now.
Yes. Yes.
But but anyway, so finally I
Yeah.
had to come out to them, and it was the most anticlimactic moment of my life because I had built up this, like, it was going to be awful, and then they were like, "Oh, we were scared maybe you were pregnant or on drugs." And I was like, "Nope."
I mean, truly, that those are worse problems by
Yeah.
far than being a lesbian for sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. And I mean,
that
it was like
that's
they were, you know, they were Catholic and they were like it is kind of sinful, but like but
yeah.
quite quickly, they chose me over their religion. So that is
Yeah.
one thing I can say that is very amazing about my parents is they're still like they still believe in God and they're very like we have a personal relationship with Jesus, but they don't
Mm,
participate in like any church stuff anymore. And they
yeah.
now are like 1,000% completely supportive. I only go to Pride anymore because my mom wants to go.
Oh,
And so I'm a
that's
good
right. You're
daughter going with my mom
no.
to Pride.
Oh,
My
no.
mom has like a pride flag in her car hanging from her rear
Oh,
window or mirror, I mean. Um
oh.
yeah, my parents they're wonderful and completely supportive. And yeah, they picked me over their bigoted beliefs at the time and now they're great. So,
Goodness.
yeah.
I don't know why any parent wouldn't. I really don't.
Yeah, I hear you. Um yeah.
Yeah. Radical mom's adorable. I agree.
Yeah, she really is like yeah, I'm the one indulging her because she wants to go to Pride and she wants to freaking
What if
wear
you were to
rainbow
be like,
stuff. And
Mom, I have a secret to tell you. Listen, really I don't really care for Pride. And then what if she was like, "Oh, thank God. I don't care for it either, but I was trying to be supportive."
no, oh my God. Or it would be like I could tell her, Mom, like, I love you, but I really don't support your lifestyle of being into gay pride and shit. Ugh.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
she's so funny.
you could casually broach the subject about how Pride's gotten real cringy the past few years and see if that lands.
Ugh.
If
I
she's
don't want to
like,
break
"Yeah,
her heart.
aw," but it's nothing to do it's like, ugh, when you watch, like, a bunch of dudes in assless chaps and dog
I
collars
know.
and shit,
I
I don't
know.
know.
She
It's
just,
not enough
yeah.
well, according to lesbians I hear talk about Pride, like, there's not enough lesbians at Pride anyway, like, barely any
Mhm.
representation anymore.
Yes. Very funny. My mom. Oy. It could be a lot worse, though. You know, I'll take the
Oh,
pride loving mom over the disowned me mom.
absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Expired milk. Oh my God.
What
Meanwhile,
one?
it's like up a bit, but she says, meanwhile, last convo I had about this with my mom, she said, I gotta wait till all my grandparents die to bring a surprise woman home.
You
No.
know, I was lucky in that my aunt, my dad's younger sister, is a lesbian. And so she definitely
Oh,
like broke the ice for me
yeah.
because she came out a long time ago. And uh yeah, I can't really say enough about my dad's side of the family because all of them are religious, like Catholic or some kind of Christian, but um they do really take the stance that like it's for God to judge and decide and it's not for
Right.
us to do. And
Right.
so I'm not a pro religious person at all, but like they really do believe that you treat everybody equally and you love
Mm.
everyone equally. And
Right.
deep down I know they do think that it is sinful, but they
Yeah.
think it's in God's hands and it's not for them to treat any person any different than they would anyone else. So uh,
Right. Yeah. My
could be
extended,
worse, right?
it definitely could be worse. Like my extended family is Catholic and my grandma is very Catholic, but
Hmm.
and I know there's really bad Catholics out there, strict ones, right? But in my experience, Catholics are
Yep.
a little bit more likely to be more cool with stuff. Like even my
Yeah.
grandma, who's pretty strict, like all of her children have been divorced. Like all of
Hmm.
them have done things that a religious person would not approve of. And she still puts her family first. Like she would never disown. I don't even think she'd disown any of her kids if they killed somebody or so. I think she wouldn't.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
expired milk, it does really seem like church fandom. Like there's so much
Oh,
pomp
it
and circumstance.
yes. Yeah.
Uh,
Catholics know how to party. They're yeah, like the
they do.
aesthetics of Catholicism are pretty crazy.
Yeah, I remember going to CCD and stuff as a kid, and I was like, I get to drink wine.
What is
Oh my
CCD?
god. Um, God, what does it stand for? It's the school we go, like the
Oh,
Bible
catechism.
school. Uh, I don't know what it stands for. Shit.
Huh.
That's just what it was called. What does CCD stand for? Ah, in the Catholic Church. Okay. Confraternity of Christian
Mm.
Doctrine, which
Oh
is a
yeah, okay.
program providing
Catechism.
religious education. Okay, so we called it CCD.
Yeah, we call it catechism. Same thing. I
Uh,
know what you mean now,
yeah,
yeah. I did all
yeah,
that. Boy.
possibly another regional difference, perhaps.
Ooh, if
Yeah,
only. I was Catholic as a kid, and so I have no fucking clue what it was at. I went to Catholic school from kindergarten to grade 12. And
wow.
actually, it's so funny. I saw a TikTok the other day that was like, it was like pretending that I'm religious again so my kids can go to a good school. And I texted my sister and I was like, ugh, could you imagine having a kid and sending them to one of the public schools in our city? And she was like, ew, no. It's like both of us are like atheists, hedonists now. But like,
Yeah,
I wouldn't want, like, I would want my kids to go to the schools I went to because they were good schools, but ugh, Catholicism.
right. I know. I would hate the like I can see that because private religious schools tend to have a better curriculum and everything, but I would hate for them to be forced to do Bible study and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Ugh, ugh.
Um, in high school, I had a crazy religious studies teacher. She was actually awesome. Um, she mostly didn't care what we did, and we didn't really actually do a whole lot of Catholic education. But she would always tell us crazy stories about like, because she uh, went on like a Catholic mission, which is pretty rare, but She went on Catholic mission, and she would tell us little crazy stories from that and her encounters with like other religious people of different faiths. And ugh. But I did have to go to mass. We had a weekly
Yep.
mass every week. Thankfully, it wasn't daily, but did have to pray every
Well,
day. And yeah.
do the rosary every day.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I did like
Mhm.
obviously baptism you have to do at birth because if you don't get baptized immediately and you die, you'll go to hell, according to Catholics.
Well, yeah,
I
my grandma told me that they go to purgatory because they weren't old
purgatory,
enough
yeah,
to
but you
see
can't go to
one.
heaven.
You can't go to heaven. No.
No, you can never go to heaven unless you're baptized. So
That's why she
I did
pushed so hard
that.
for us to get baptized.
Yes. And then I did First Communion when I was 7. And then I did Reconciliation. There's another one. Can't remember what it's called. But I did all of the rites that you do as a Catholic.
Mm,
Confessionals, and everything.
wow.
Good times.
Yeah,
Confessional
we
booze is
never
so
got that.
weird.
Yeah, it is weird. I feel like I've done that before and I probably blocked it out because the immediate family wasn't Catholic, but for a brief stint in middle school, I did the whole Catholic thing because my grandmother was starting to like pull her hair out because we weren't baptized or anything like that. And my dad just kind of acquiesced. But at that age, it was too late. My brother and I were not receptive to the ideas, just put it
Yeah.
lightly. But we went through all we went through all that stuff. And I'm pretty
Mm-hmm.
sure I went to confessional and telling this weird old priest all the ways I was bad was kind of
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, well that's one of the big differences too between like regular Christians and Catholics is like they believe like regular Christians, Jesus said in the Bible like no one comes to the Father except through me. And so that's a big issue that Christians have with Catholics is because your priest is your connection to God and whereas Christians believe you have a personal relationship with God.
Yeah, I
Um
mean, I kind of can see how that would cause the abuse scandal that it did in the Catholic
mhm.
Church. Because you've got all these
Exactly.
priests like with like isolated control and grooming opportunities
Yep.
with their young congregation. So that where
Yep.
you wouldn't find that in like a Baptist church as much.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Exactly. I actually just recently watched. Have you seen that movie with Meryl Streep and Philip Seymour Hoffman called Doubt from 2008?
No, I've heard of it, but I've never seen the whole thing.
I just watched it the other day for the first time, and it's basically about this nun played by Meryl Streep in the
Mm.
60s, who has
Is this the
suspicions that
story about the one who was murdered?
no, but that's a great
Okay.
documentary. No, this
Yeah.
is a fictional movie. And she has suspicions that the priest is abusing boys at the school she is the principal of. Um, and it's all about her kind of investigating. And anyway, it was very good. But no, I know what you're talking about. That one's called The Keepers, and it's a
That's
docu
right.
series on Netflix, which was fucking incredible.
It was. It stuck
Um,
with me for years.
oh yeah, if anyone's listening to this and they want to watch that documentary called The Keepers, yeah, it'll stick with you. Also, there's explicit like
Yeah.
talk about
Yeah.
sexual abuse and stuff. But the
Yes.
two women in that documentary who wanted to find out what happened to their nun, Sister Mary Sesnick, see, I remember
Yeah.
everything.
Oh
Those
God.
women were so formidable. They were incredible.
I know. That poor nun.
I know. God, that's a great
Ugh,
documentary. A great one.
it
While we're on the
is.
topic, also, what's that movie Spotlight, which is about the exposure, like exposing the pedophiles in the priesthood. That was
Oh,
a
I've
great
never heard of
movie as
that
well.
one.
It's with Kevin. No, not Kevin Costner. Who's the other one who looks exactly like Kevin Costner? Michael
Uh,
Keaton
oh,
and Mark Ruffalo. Very good. They're journalists who expose the church.
nice.
Very good. Very
Ah, yes.
good.
We're talking about asexuality and stuff in the chat. Non-men loving non-men. God.
Yeah, that's the new definition of lesbian.
Ugh. No.
It's so gross.
No.
Like defining
Wait.
us by men? Like what the fuck?
I
Ew.
feel like y'all have to get like vulgar. You'd be like, "No, I like pussy. Deal with it." Like just come out.
Right?
Just be like, "Nope. No scrotum for me, thanks."
Well, then they'll call you a vagina fetishist
Yep, that's
or a
me.
genital fetishist.
Love it. I fetishize it all the way. So I would just lean into it. Just be like, "Yep,
Just lean in.
I, I'm a dirty fetishist, so why don't you leave? You don't want to be around me."
Yeah.
I have dangerous ideas.
Corrupt you with my gayness.
That's right. Exactly, irradiated woman. Just do it. Like go full into it. Just be like, "Yep, I call me one all day."
Yes, great point from Kathy. The point of expanding the definition is to destroy any category which excludes men from sexual access to any woman. Exactly.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Yep.
Yeah.
But just
Yeah. Or
leaning
they
into
say
it. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm sorry, but your post-op horrors
it's
is
still a
not like,
dick.
well, or
Even if you've turned it inside out.
it's a
Ugh.
terrifying surgical hole, and it's not a vagina. So I
Mhm.
no,
No.
not at all. But that's why, like, really leaning into it and just like
Mhm.
just being like, "Yep, there's no guilt to be had. Like, you're not guilty about it. It's just like, and you're stating the fact. The fact is that lesbians are homosexual and they like females. Full stop. That's it."
Yeah. It doesn't matter what you say.
No, it doesn't.
Mhm.
But they can't argue with you if you're like, "Yep, yep, that's me."
Ugh. True. 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 Yeah, tapewormen. They have to dilate for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, and apparently
Like,
it's one of the most painful things you'll ever go through. So
yeah.
was it worth it?
Like, yeah, no, it's forever. It
Mm,
is
yeah,
forever because the human body will try to close up the wound because that's what it does to wounds. So you have to keep it open for the rest
right.
of your life.
Yep. It's like an earring hole that closes. If you
Yeah.
don't wear an earring for 10 years, it's going to close up or even
Hmm.
less.
Yep. Ugh. Ugh. God.
Ew, Rosie, what the
I
heck?
know. I just read that and I was like, ugh.
No! What a day to be able to read.
What a day to be able to read. Need some
This
eye
is
bleach.
infected. No. God.
Ugh. Terrible.
Yeah, lest we
Terrible.
remember. Yeah, it's like, it's just very lesbophobic. It's just like men really cannot stand that there's any number of women that they don't have access to and never will.
Mhm.
Oh,
There's
there's
some
our
eye bleach.
baby. Yeah. Oh God, it tasted like blood. No.
Oh,
Oh, that. Oh. Eh, oh my God. It doesn't have the grab.
oh, have mercy.
Oh.
Yuck. Yuck. Um, what are you doing next week for Christmas?
Well, I have a Christmas party to go to on Monday. Right. That's
Mhm.
the day before Christmas Eve, right? Monday?
Yes.
Yes. And then I have Christmas Eve celebration with my brother. I've
Nice.
got the in-laws at some point this weekend. I got to go visit my mom
Oh man, busy.
on Friday. That's her thing. Actual Christmas Day for now is literally just a veg. I don't want to do anything on Christmas Day. I'm going to be like needing some recharge time for sure because I'm going to be basically socializing all week.
This is great. Expired milk. FML, Christmas is next week? Yeah, it's 1 week from today.
I'm very sorry to inform you that it is.
Yep.
Actually, I'm sorry for myself. I've got to go shopping. No.
Yeah, I'm going shopping tomorrow. Um,
Yep,
I
me too.
I have the day off work tomorrow because I have to use up my holiday hours before the fiscal year ends. So I took tomorrow off. I'm gonna go shopping. Um, Friday, I'm only working a half day, and
Hmm.
then back to work. I have to work Monday and Tuesday. Christmas Eve, they'll probably tell us to go home at noon, which is nice.
That
And
is
then
nice.
I'm off Wednesday, Thursday, and I took Friday off as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, and like time is fake. I feel like that all the time. It just doesn't have any meaning.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it's nice that they let you go home early on those days. That is nice. I hope my
Yeah.
company does that, but they haven't since COVID.
Hmm.
Mm,
Yeah, they've always told us to go home at noon on Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. So
yeah.
that's and then I'm not really doing anything for Christmas because my sister cannot come home this year. So
Aw.
uh but my parents live in the same city I do, so I'm just gonna go to their house and I am gonna sleep over at their house on Christmas Eve. So we
Aw,
can wake up on
that's so
Christmas morning.
sweet.
I know my mom loves Christmas and she wants everyone together always. And
Yeah.
usually I'm actually usually dog sitting over Christmas, so I usually only go over for a few hours because then I have to go back and deal with the dogs. But this year I'm not, but I've told them that I am.
Ah, pro move.
I'm gonna show up on Christmas Eve and be like, I'm here for a sleepover.
I mean, you just sometimes need time to yourself to just like decompress for sure.
Yep.
No harm in a little white lie. You'll be there
Yep.
Christmas morning.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
So when you were a kid, did your mom have the rule like my mom did that we could get up early, but not before 6? That was her cutoff. And she had to make a cup of coffee and sit down with the coffee before Christmas began, like before we so
Yeah. Yeah.
6
Yeah.
o'clock, she had to get up, she had to like do her morning thing and then make coffee. And then only when she had her cup and she was sitting in her armchair
Yep.
did it, because she's like, I'm not doing this without my morning coffee. I'm not.
Yeah, that was, I think, the same for my family too. And we never had, like, I know some families would do, like, you can open one present on Christmas Eve, or like you can open your stockings before anyone gets up. We never had that. It was like
Mhm.
just on Christmas morning only. Uh, but yeah.
Yeah. Our Christmas Eve growing up, we always did it at our grandparents' house. And
Hmm.
so we had the presents then, because obviously we weren't going to see them the next day. Exactly. No talkie before coffee.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. My mom couldn't handle it. Uh, so yeah, the Christmas Eve party kind of became a tradition in the family. It used to be at our grandparents. We'd open gifts, and now it's kind of morphed into my brother hosts it. Our grandparents are very old; they're in their 90s now, so
Yeah.
they don't anymore. But we get together, we do the white elephant uh, instead of a whole big pile of gifts because there's no more children. There's no Everybody's an adult now, so um, yeah, it's kind of become a nice tradition that started as a child, where we do have a Christmas Eve thing, not the ones at home. You know, when we were growing up, the presents at home were only for Christmas morning, but we got a bunch of stuff from grandma and grandpa the night before. So
Nice.
yeah.
When I was a kid, our Christmas Eve tradition was we would make hot chocolate in like to-go
Oh,
mugs, and we would drive around looking at Christmas lights every Christmas Eve.
I love going, I call it going Christmas lighting, and I love doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that was our
I,
Christmas Eve tradition.
oh, I love that. I usually do it a little bit before Christmas just to see like what everybody's got. But
Hmm.
man, that'd be so awesome to just, I love to
Yeah,
drive around and see it. I have a
very.
crowdsourcing question
Ooh,
for
let's hear
you
it.
and for the chat. So I have to get two gifts for the white elephant, Yankee Swap, Dirty Secret Santa, whatever. One of those gifts is going to be a bottle of liquor, as is my usual, but I'm stuck on the other gift. I don't know what to get. This is something that should be in the ballpark of $25 to $30 and possibly useful to a diverse group of people. So, like, not just like, I don't know, like, I don't want to get a basket of bath bombs or whatever because you probably only appeal to like the women in the group, right? And not everybody. I
Hmm.
mean, I don't know, maybe my brother would like some bath bombs. I don't know.
Maybe.
Tea. That's a good one. More liquor. I thought of that. I was like, what if I get two bottles of liquor? But I
Yeah,
was
like
like,
a nice, like fancy tea, maybe like a mug too, like a mug and
yeah,
some tea, like a cute tea strainer.
yeah, that would be really. Unfortunately, gift cards are deemed no fun. You have to. It has to be a gift that you can open. A toolbox, a drill. I mean, a drill is actually that's very useful. Oh, card. Oh, an adult game. I'm not a games person, so I would never have thought of that. I thought of a blanket too, Tapeworm.
Yep, 15 Jessica had the same idea.
Yeah, but
It's very milk.
that, that's such a niche gift. I would love to just get that as a gag gift. Not because I think Star Wars is a gag, but because my family is not the Star Wars fan base at all. That they're very normie coded, so they'd be like, what the heck kind of geek shit is this?" A heated blanket. That's actually not a bad idea because I know the thing that put me off the blanket thing was that I know for a fact that a bunch of my family has big piles of blankets already. Uh, we live in a cold area. I know that my brother and sister-in-law have a bunch of blankets in their house because they're always curling up in blankets, and they've got two basset hounds who use their blankets and um, AAA batteries. You guys are killing me. You know what though? I could get like a big package of different battery sizes, like a bunch of
Oh,
double A's, triple A's.
have you heard? There's a thing, I think it's called like the battery daddy.
Battery daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, here, I'll show you. Uh, it's like a case of a bajillion different kinds of batteries. How do I?
What?
Yeah, I'll show you. Hold on. Ah!
See,
Why am I so bad at this?
I'm so glad I crowdsourced this. I would have never thought of this stuff. A popcorn maker. I know, right?
Share screen. Yeah, the battery daddy.
Holy shit. And it's the perfect price point.
It comes with
That is
little
so cool. I
all the
love
different
practical.
sizes. The C batteries that you always need for your smoke detector and never have on hand.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm going right now.
And these are Canadian prices too, so it's probably cheaper for you.
Oh my God. I'm super stoked about this. You don't even know.
Glad to have been of service.
Expired milk, you put the battery out there, and then it's actually more expensive here, believe it or not.
Oh. Oops.
That's okay.
Too funny. That is a good gift. I agree.
It is, and people will want that. So yeah, I know part of the appeal of the white elephant or whatever is that you have gifts that you don't want, but I don't want to be the person that brings those gifts. I want the gifts I want the ones that everybody wants to take. I want those gifts.
Totally.
Yeah, it's
Also,
$25.99 here.
That's not bad though.
No, it's not. I'm just surprised that it's a little bit more expensive because usually it's not.
I love Expired Milk says she ran into her dad at the supermarket today because he was getting D batteries.
See, he needs a battery daddy. Kind of wild to run into your parents just out in the wild like that though as an adult. That's fun. Okay, I'm going to put it on this car. Sorry, I need to order it right now because if I don't, I'm totally going to forget.
Do it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's a cool gift.
That is awesome. Oh, yes. Now all I have to do is figure out what kind of liquor I'm going to get for my second gift.
What do you think you're going to get?
Probably some kind of brown liquor, like a whiskey, because you can mix it. Well, I got a really nice silver tequila one year, and then I ended up with it, which I'm not complaining about. But it tells me that, believe me, I'm not complaining. I like tequila, but it tells me that a lot of people don't like tequila. So I want to kind of get a crowd pleaser liquor that people, will drink or want. Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah, 15 clear. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't want to be like that though. Like it is funny when there's a gift like that, but I don't like being the person that does it. Like one year my son brought this shitty bird feeder that nobody wanted, and it became like the joke of the family. And somebody else got stuck with it. Yeah. But I want the cool gifts. I want the one everybody's stealing. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Everclear is dangerous. Yeah, I'm not gonna get Everclear. Can you imagine?
No.
Or like straight moonshine, like a bottle of moonshine. Oh, moonshine. It's like rubbing alcohol.
Yes.
Yeah.
Extremely.
But yeah. Okay. Ice goddess. This bird feeder was super chintzy. It was like made of metal. It wasn't pretty at all. Not aesthetic. It was very rickety looking. It looked like it was at the dollar store that you picked it up. And I can't even describe this abomination of a bird feeder, because bird feeders are supposed to be like cute and comforting and pleasing to the eye. This was none of those things. It looked like some kind of cyberpunk bird feeder, but not as cool, like not cool at all. It was just like a metal monstrosity that looked like it would scare birds more than entice them. So 15, Jessica. 15 pounds of ramen. No.
Oh my God. Oh my God. An Elon Musk truck bird feeder, a Cybertruck.
It's basically like like the Elon Musk truck of bird feeders. It was ugly. Yeah. Ah, Everclear is available on Uber Eats.
Just in case you need some right
Interesting.
now.
I need to deliver to my house. Bring it to my door.
That's so funny. Yeah, have you seen a Cybertruck in real life?
Yes. You remember how I went to Utah with my mom for her dental
Oh
work?
yeah.
Her
Hmm.
dentist had one.
Oh boy.
It was parked in the parking lot, and we saw it every day almost.
I've
And
seen one
it's
in
the
real life twice now.
ugliest fucking thing I've ever seen in my whole
Oh my
life. It looks
god.
fake. It looks like one of
Yeah.
those cars that you build and it's fake and like it's not a real car, like a brand. It's like some bespoke thing that somebody built in their garage. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, it is really, really bad. Really bad.
Yeah. I also hear that they're unreliable as hell.
Especially where it's cold. And a lot of Canadians who have bought them are reporting that like they just die immediately in cold weather. And it's like, okay.
Wow. Yeah, that's very impractical. Wow.
Yep.
Ugh.
And the headlights and tail lights are like inset into the body. So when it snows, the snow just piles up on the bumpers and completely blocks the head and tail lights.
Oh my God. It's like it was specifically designed to be inconvenient.
Yeah, it's so weird. And people are buying them.
No, you wouldn't catch me dead.
Crazy.
Even if I won the lottery, I wouldn't buy one of those things.
No.
Ugh, gross. Oh, Tapeworm says, I saw the thing where the
Whoa.
gas pedal got stuck in the corner of the floor and someone couldn't stop the car. That is scary.
That's very scary. Whoa.
Design flaws up the yin yang. Just, ugh.
Crazy. Crazy. Yeah, it seems scary. Big death trap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Looks like a bad sci-fi prop. Yes,
They do.
exactly. Not in a cool way. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Because remember the disaster car from the 80s, the DeLorean that was used in Back to the Future?
Uh-huh.
It was a famously
Yes.
bad car that, was also kind of a unreliable death trap too, but it at least had some flair.
Yeah, with the like batwing doors.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it
cool.
had some like personality. These cars, they're the worst.
Oh, they're so weird. Don't
Oh, it
get
says
it.
Tapeworm says they stopped at the last second via using the brake and the e-brake, which messed up the car, but it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Wow.
Whoa. That's
Jeez.
fucking crazy. People have too much money and not enough brains.
I agree.
Yep.
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 Yeah. Well, money can't buy sense, apparently.
Yeah, the Cybertruck is the truck for the man who never needs an actual truck.
Right. Right. Like my mom's dentist, who, yeah, does not look like the outdoorsy type for sure. So,
That's funny. Ugh. Well, are you good to start wrapping up?
I'm good. If you're
Yeah,
good.
I'm good. I got some stuff to do this evening, so I'll get on that. I gotta clean not my kitchen, but the kitchen of the house that I'm staying in.
Well, yeah, but that's good. That's good to do.
My after stream activity.
Exactly. As is tradition.
Exactly. So let's see here. Christmas is next week, so I might stream on Monday, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Actually, maybe I will stream on Monday. I'll plan to stream on Monday. We'll see how that
Mm,
goes. Yeah, anyway, we'll see how that goes. But then the following week, so the week of New Year's, I probably will not be available at all.
mhm.
Maybe the
Yeah, I
following.
won't.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, the following. I just letting you know, I won't be available on Monday because basically right after I clock out of work, I
Yeah, yeah,
gotta get ready for that party and head out. I got a party that night.
that'll be fun. Yeah, I might alone, or I'll see if anyone else is available.
Mhm.
Um, and then Monday the 30th, potentially, maybe, but might be
Yeah,
kind of scarce around here the next 2 weeks because it's the holidays.
it is.
And then and then the week after, so like the week of January 6th to the 10th, I am going to be working half days only. So I might do some daytime streaming.
Well, I'm on like a business trip in Hartford, Connecticut from the
Oh,
6th to the
fun.
9th. Yeah. So I still have to work, but I probably won't be
Be
able to
around.
attend the stream. I'll be in like conferences and very boring
Yeah.
things. So,
Oh,
yeah,
adults.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
All right. Well, yes, thanks y'all for joining us this evening. Probably, probably see you on Monday, I think.
Hmm.
Um, and if not, then everyone have a great holiday season. Have a great
Yes.
evening. We'll see
Happy
ya when we see ya.
holidays.
Happy
Bye,
holidays
everybody. To you.
to
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Okay, bye. Bye bye.
Bye.